We still have people coming in. Wow, the lightsaber is out. Oh no, that's just the light. Looked like a lightsaber. Oh, it is a lightsaber. Leave it to Eric. Leave it to Eric. All right. So I'm just going to get started with the introduction here, you guys. My name is Judy Thurston. Oh, we got more people hanging out in the waiting room. If I can ask you to mute. Um, all right, so my name is Judy Thurston. This is a new platform that we have created called Permission to be Brave. And what this is a platform to hear inspiring stories that bring hope and inspiration and authentic conversations. So I want to welcome you guys for being here. This is a service that we do to the community at the free Zoom, and we will have these recorded and be available for replay. I know there's people here from all over, so welcome you guys. Thank you for being here. I'm going to share a little bit about Olga before we have her go on. Olga and I are friends that we've known each other probably almost 2 years, right, Olga? But it feels like a lifetime. That's the kind of friend Olga is when you know her. She loves deeply. There's nothing superficial. When you're with Olga, it's like you're in. It's deep right away, and just so honored to be her friend and to have her share today. I know she's going to be sharing some gold with us. I want to encourage all of us to find at least one line of gold in what Olga will be sharing today. And when you have that line of gold, would you be a giver and share it? Whatever community you're part of, maybe just on your regular Facebook group, if you're in the Ultimate Coach community or in other communities here, would you be open to sharing that gold? I was in my meditation this morning and my mantra said, just be a giver. Be a giver today. And imagine if all of us can collectively be that. What a beautiful thing that would be. So I'm going to have Olga share all this incredible goodness that she's going to share with us today. And that we just listen and that we be present and that we be here. So with that, without further ado, we're going to give it over to Olga. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Judy. And thank you, everyone, for coming into this beautiful virtual space that we have together today. And I recognize that I have a lot of people here who are coming from the background where I come from, meaning just, from really purely my world and the work I, have been doing. And there are some people that I really know from this very special place that it's the Ultimate Coach. And so just give it a little bit context today. What Judy has asked me, to share is to share, the journey of my life, and especially, the past, couple of years, because there have been a lot of things that have been shifted in my life, and I feel like I am capable to laugh more boldly and serve more powerfully. And I want to talk about it, how it has, come around. And so I will be sharing something that some people might know about and other people might not know about. And that is, first of all, to start with a book that I have come across about, a couple of months ago. And the book is called The Ultimate Coach. Now, this book has been written by two people, Amy Hardison and Ellen D. Thompson. And I would like to start with that because it will give you a context of, what I'm going to talk about. there are just many parallels that have brought me just kind of, to the Ultimate Coach book. Okay. And I could share many. Um, and one that, really stands out profoundly, just kind of for me, especially from the spiritual point of view, is that Amy Hardison and Steve Hardison share and cherish and feel deeply about the creator of this world and his role among the inhabitants of this earth, and the role of Jesus Christ as the savior of this world similarly. And as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I'm especially in awe of those who, believe in and embody the teachings just kind of, that we have within my religion. And one particular part, of that is we have what it's called the Articles of Faith. And one of the articles of the faith says, and I will quote, we believe in being honest, true, chaste, benevolent, virtuous, and in doing good to all men and women. Indeed, we may say that we follow the admonition of Paul. We believe all things, we hope all things, we have endured many things, and hope to be able to endure all things. If there is anything virtuous, lovely, or of good report or praiseworthy, we seek after these things. And this has been something always that has been so uplifting to me, how we can really come from a certain, foundation spiritually, economically, and socially, and yet we are capable to love and serve in the world that goes beyond the boundaries or where our foundation is. And Emmy and Steve are really truly living examples of these truths in the way they treat other people, they love and serve other people. So it really made me pause, when I came across to this book, The Ultimate Coach. I'm sorry. My So for those of you who don't know it, that's just kind of the book we are talking about, okay? That when you meet someone who is grounded in a specific spiritual truth, yet their way of being, allows to serve anyone regardless just kind of their spiritual foundation. And so that was really, really interesting to me, to see that, because this book is, about the life of a man whose name is Steve Hardison, and he has been known in not only United States, but globally as the ultimate coach. So someone who really has an impact on people's lives that goes just kind of, beyond the borders or where we are living. And what was really interesting about this book to me was the way he wanted and wants people to just kind of go about with this book, because he's absolutely not interested about just kind of people reading about him. He just, says, if you want to do it that way, okay, but just, what I would like to invite you is to really read it about yourself. And this book actually just has been given to me by his sister, who happens to be in the same, congregation of the church here where I live. And when I saw the book and I started reading the book, what was really interesting, about that was that I felt like, oh my gosh, there is somebody who I can finally relate. Somebody who comes from a very similar background of belief, and yet it's someone who can work with anyone and uplift millions and just kind of work in such a profound and wonderful way. So I immediately found just kind of, connection, in that, with Steve. And then just, really reading the book, and I have read that book already probably 8 or 9 times. There is just so much of gold that, I have learned, about myself and how to treat myself and my life in a different way, because I think it was the first time when I came across the concept that it's not always about doing. What do I do next? What do I do next to lose weight? What do I do next to just kind of have a, better life? But it really actually everything comes from the way who we are being. And that was truly a new concept to me, although it should not be, but it was. And so that, took me on a completely a new journey to just kind of, look into my life. And as many of you from my yoga community who are here, you know that I have started coaching about 3 years ago, in addition of doing my yoga therapy with other people. And I have seen a tremendous blessing in people's lives to teach them how we don't have to be slaves of our mind, and how the mind can offer us beliefs and things that might create feelings and might create results that we are not so happy about. And so even in yoga, we know how mindfulness really is important, but this was more in depth, coming into the place, like, who do I choose to be? To be, someone who serves my community, who serves my family. Who do I need to be a mother I really want to be to my two wonderful boys? Who do I need to be a wife to my husband, that is a relationship that is nourishing and beautiful, and it's enlarged on every single day. So it took me really on a just journey to discover one thing, and that is that I actually have the capability to create myself on a daily basis. Meaning that I don't have to believe in the thoughts, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm too old, or I'm too this or too that. And knowing how to just kind of, get rid of those thoughts and really just kind of live from completely a pure and, place that is just kind of enabling me to serve boldly. And so as I was reading this book, and this is where just the story starts, was that I came next Sunday to the church, and I approached Jamie, Steve's sister, and I just said, Jamie, I know that I will be one day, in the office of this man. And I was even surprised when I said that, because I was sharing some things from the book, and I said that, and I was like, wow, what did you just like say? But I really felt that, because I am someone, my whole life, I always just kind of follow the inner nudge. If I feel that there is just, something that I know that it's just expanding, the way of who I am, and it expands just kind of my heart is beating and feeling joy. And that's what I felt. I felt just such a, amount of enthusiasm and joy when I, have said that. I knew that it's going to happen, and it's not a small task to come to the office of this man. It takes preparation, it takes resources, it takes a lot of just kind of, I would say, courage and guts to just kind of, do that. And so I have approached Steve at some point, and I have asked him if that would be a possibility, that I could have what it's called be with session, which is kind of, introduction to either keep, then focus on, further coaching with him, or you can just have, the single session, which I understood in the past he didn't have that. That this is a new thing that he does, that you can have be with session and then just kind of, decide how to go, with that. And so I really would like to just, share, the experience. And many of you might ask, why just kind of, did I choose to coach with someone who, first of all, is very expensive. Second of all, you have to really fly to his place. He's not going to just kind of be somewhere and you meet him. He is coaching, his office is, at his home. And so there are people who travel from all over the world, to just kind of be coached with him. And so of course, it just takes a lot of different things to be prepared to just, to do this. And you might ask, well, why did you just kind of, do that? And I think that my main reason to do something that it sounds so unreasonable, to do, because there are so many different ways you can spend your money, is that I always have been someone since I was a little kid who wanted to serve really boldly to other people. And maybe when I was little, I didn't really understand that concept. But when I look back, I know that there is just such a deep, deep desire in me to help people, to uplift people, and to help people, and to love people more than I was capable to love yesterday. And as I, really was watching The Ultimate Coach, aka Steve Hardison, when I was, seeing him in action, I saw that he is just, really someone who is a master of, being a master of being love and being of service. And I saw it just so boldly in him. And I felt I really want to learn from someone who loves and serves and uplifts the humanity in such a tremendous way that not only change, one person's lives, but immediately changes just kind of the life of, any people who, are, around that person, and I have witnessed that. So my only desire was just kind of, can I learn more about how to be more of service and love and help to humanity around me? And also the other thing is, I have learned through my life is everything what we do is it is really about the experience. Um, and like why would you go to see Niagara Falls or Grand Canyon or go to Olympics? It's beautiful just kind of to climb the mountain or to just kind of be by the waterfalls or just to go to the Olympics. And yet I always see just kind of that what people share is the experience. It means what they have felt in that space, what they thought, and especially how it made them feel. It it just shifts something, within you. And so from all the experience also that I might share that I have had with Steve being in his office, it is really about the experience that I do not forget and won't forget. There are simply things, in your life, such as your wedding or, bringing a child into this world, um, and other instances that are so unique that you simply don't forget. And this was one of the experiences that I don't think that I will, ever, forget. And it was just, how I really felt, being in the office of this man. Um, and so I will just kind of, share with you a little bit just the experience because, and I hope that you are not listening, just Olga speaking about the experience. I want you to hear there's something that can be significant, for you. Not necessarily just kind of go to coach somebody or read something, but I just want you just kind of have the inquiry. What kind of, gold nugget is just, in this, what I'm hearing. Um, what is really unique about just, doing session with the ultimate coach is that he flies your flag. I hope that I'm saying it in English, flies the flag. Okay, I hope that I'm saying it, correctly. So as I was driving to his place, I saw in front of his house two flags. One of the flag was the American flag, and right below that was the flag of the Czech Republic. And I want you to know that I'm not, like, so like, like, oh my gosh, I'm from the Czech Republic. Everybody just hear that, okay? I mean, I love my country. I know where I'm coming from. And as I saw that flag, it was just very, 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 very unique experience for me because I don't think it has ever happened to me that somebody would fly a Czech flag for me. So I have felt like Olympian in some ways. And or it made me feel that way, that this is something very special. But there is even more beyond that. And that is that as I, as I parked and just, was able to wait outside in a waiting area before just, I went to the session. As I was sitting there, something, just kind of two things down on me. And one of them was, I really have felt all of my ancestors. And it was so unique, to me to feel not only my parents, my grandparents, and I could even hardly just kind of, reach who exactly those people are or what they look like. But I, felt at that moment just, how far my ancestry have come. That I might have been a dream of someone, back maybe 3, 4, 5 generations before for something that might have been impossible for them. It could be with health. It could be just, with their education. It could be in their relationship with their loved ones. It could be a lot of different things, but I just have felt so connected to the past, it was just a feeling. And also simultaneously, I have felt the generations coming forward. And many of you might know that I just, got a grandson in May, Liam, who I love so, so dearly. And Miranda, actually, she's here, she's listening. So I'm saying hello to Miri, uh, his mom. And, I could just kind of feel that, like, that was like a capsule of time that I was there present, and the influence of the past and the future. I realized how our lives are so important and magnificent what we do, and especially what we do with our loved ones. Because the buck stops right there, what we are creating within our families. And so that was really a beautiful feeling of feeling just, so grateful. And in addition, I want you to know that it also dawned on me, if I lived back in the Czech Republic or former Czechoslovakia, even with my degree in PhD, which allowed me to make more money that most of people in my country could make, I still was making about $1,200 per year. And it dawned on me in a second. I was like, well, with all the traveling expenses and hopefully getting visa and just getting hotel and getting just kind of, into the office, of this coach, it would take me about 10 years. And I started laughing because that was just like, I would not even dream about anything. It would even cross my mind. And I think that was the moment I really felt just kind of the ancestors of the past, that they had dreams, and maybe not all of their dreams just kind of well fulfilled. Just think about your mom, about your dad, about your grandparents, and the challenges they faced. They were different 100 years ago, 500 years ago, right? And so I felt, oh my goodness, this is just really incredible. This is just a very unique moment. And I will move forward, just kind of, what is really interesting about, having such a experience also is that um, you can tell that this man prepares for the session really just, it's not like, okay, next person, let's go and do it. You can sense the hours, and even I would say days of the preparation that this man just devotes to each of his clients. The level of just, the unconditional love that I have felt in every step when I walked in the house, when we walked me through the garden, and he was sharing me all different things that, he had in the garden, and they were part of, so many different clients who would just kind of, be depicted in some ways, just kind of, in his garden. And then what is really interesting about, Steve is that when he coaches with someone, there is a special and unique things that he does. And I'll tell you just kind of, how that happened when I kind of witnessed that. He took me to the lower part of his garden, and there is just kind of this long plaque, and there are names on it. And he he's showing me the names and he just says, these are the people I have coached with, and I recognized, many of the names. And then he says, look all the way down to the left. And I looked down and I saw my name. I saw Olga Campora. And again, it was a moment that, you are joining, you are part of something bigger than you are. Because really beyond all of this, it's really how we show up in our lives, who we are being, how do we serve and love, in the world that we are living, in the age you are, in the health circumstance that you are, in the family situation you are, because, going through the session is one thing, but what you create afterwards is the other thing. So I just want to say one thing as just, I walked in the office. It's a very special, unique place that he has, that it's kind of, attached to his house, and you walk in, and I do understand that he changes just kind of, the art and the pictures that he have in the office. It depends, who is the next client. And as I walked in, it was just almost like walking through a just kind of, a unique gallery, and stepping really in a space that felt in many ways very sacred to me. And as he was talking about, the art, and things that he had, in the office, I just could feel the love that this man has for every single person who he was with. I mean, that felt, you feel when people love you, but when you see somebody who loves his clients, so much, it's a mind-blowing. That's on its own was worth of all just kind of the investment I had. I was just like feeling like this man, he really loves these people so much. And then here I was in the office, and I will share a couple of things that you know, that I witnessed there, with myself. This man, he has a night picture of Prague, night Prague. And I understand that that is something that is there all the time. At least I saw it in a few videos that he was sharing with, or he was doing something, I saw that and I was like, that looks like a night Prague, which is the capital of my, on my country. And sure enough, as I look at it, it's a really long, just kind of rectangular, beautiful picture of Prague. I see the Charles Bridge. I see the Karlstein. I see the just kind of, the castle. And and again, as I saw that, I I was just kind of, I was in awe in that moment, that there was something in the office that actually just kind of, again, reminded me just my roots, where I come from. And it was just such a beautiful, beautiful moment. It was very sacred and very soft moment. And as I said, on a sofa, I started weeping, and it was, it was really tears of joy. And it was almost like a continuation of what I had witnessed, just, seeing the Czech flag, because as I was then in the office and seeing the night Prague picture, um, I was just in awe. I was just in awe, first of all, where I was at that moment, how far I have come in my life, what I have created in my life, just to do in my life, what I have been doing. And Steve, he asked me like, what are you feeling? And I did say, I just said one word, and it was awe, AWE. And did you guys, did you have moments in your life when you really felt the feeling of awe? It's just very epic feeling. It's different than joy. It's different than enthusiasm. It's different than love. It's just very unique feeling to human soul that is just so expansive. And when I was feeling that feeling of awe, my next words were, my life is beautiful. My life is magnificent. I am a giant. And I was listening to myself, and I was like, that's true. My life has been beautiful. Doesn't mean that it has been easy. My life is magnificent for sure. If I look back and things that the hoops that I jumped, the mountains I climbed, the oceans I crossed in so many different ways, I know that that has been epic to me, honestly. But also just knowing that I'm a giant, and I really know that I mean it in the best way description I can. I really felt the magnificence of just, who I am and how God has created Olga. That I have been always just, his perfect creation, that I don't have to add anything, I don't have to distract anything. So that was just, really a really beautiful and epic feeling that I have had, and then I know that I don't have too much of time. I want to share something else that just kind of, took place because, when you come to the office, he asks you, so what do you want to work on? What are we going to create? And I was preparing for the 6 months, and I have so many different versions what I want to work on and what I want to accomplish. And then, like a couple of weeks prior to the session, as I was sitting in a prayer and meditation, it just came to me like, Olga, no agenda. You will know exactly when you are there what to ask. And that was just such a wonderful, just, inner relief. It was just like, trust me, when you are there, you will just exactly ask, what just kind of is needed at that moment. And I also knew that it doesn't matter what I ask because, whatever happens, one marble is going to get in a movement and it's going to bring, the other marbles in, in a motion, and something is just kind of, going to be created. And so I did say, Steve, if I can leave this office, and if I say that I don't have to impress others, but serve boldly, I will be complete. Because, we all of us, have our, different thoughts, and I know that among many other, unhealthy thoughts, I have felt that this was something that just kind of, was really holding me back to really serve the way that I'm born on this earth to serve, And that was just, there was that sense to impress other people with what I'm doing and who, how I am doing that. And that was my desire. I just said, if I leave and I don't have to just impress anybody, I'm complete because I know that I will be able to love and serve in a way that just kind of it's always meant for me. And so we had a just kind of, a really beautiful, beautiful conversation, and the way just, Steve works, through unhealthy thoughts is just, it's a piece of art, He is really just kind of very artful the way that he listens to you. And that what's just kind of happens through the entire 2 hours. I felt like there was, like such a laser focus on me, like I have never had in my life. And just the way he listened to me, the way I could tell that he loved me and wanted to help me was pretty incredible. And yet I knew that, he was there only to be the facilitator. I was the one who was responsible for the experience that I created there. because it is after everything. It is just, even now when you are sitting here, it's just, it is your experience. It's just kind of, how we truly listen and what we are looking for, here. So if I listen to hear something just kind of that I want to, hear, I will definitely hear that, you know. And so that was something that was just kind of, so really unique to me, just kind of, to see somebody who was just so directly and laser focused, be with me and holding me in that way, being the facilitator and just kind of, helping me to do the inquiry in myself so that I can find, you know, what is just kind of, the deep divine truth within me that would replace the thought I need to impress others. And what was truly just kind of, remarkable, to me was that what happened just kind of, after, again, I will write probably the whole book about this because it was just epic what happened there. I want to share one more thing that happened as a result of just kind of the session, because I still feel like I've been processing things, and there have been changes I feel even within my marriage and within my family, within my community, and the way I serve. That's still just kind of, I'm blown away, It's beautiful, guys. When you have a chance to just kind of meet someone that is just so artful in what they are doing. So if you would like to learn about, how to create sculptures, you would probably go to Michelangelo and not to somebody who is trying to just kind of, learn that, And so, like, Steve, he's kind of like a Shakespeare, of being. He's like a Michelangelo of being, or whatever you would call it, And so I'm just like, I would rather go to the master than just kind of keep learning, just kind of here and there. And I came back just kind of, home, from the session. I was in Arizona, and immediately I pick up the phone, and it took me about 1.5 hours to just kind of, really capture everything that I could remember from the session. And I was actually listening to it last night, and I've been listening to it because your mind forgets, your memory forgets. And I really wanted to capture, all the things that I have, learned through the lesson and how I have felt. And what happens, and is the last thing that I want to really just kind of, share with you guys, was that same night, I was awakened about 2:30 in the morning from the sleep, and I couldn't go back to sleep. And I just sit up, and I was just, sitting just there with me. And there was just kind of, this download that I just, have felt, and I started writing it. And I will share that with you. It's not a long thing. But I just kind of, heard this thing, that I'm creating a divine agreement with my own mind. Because, our mind is either the best friend or it is our worst enemy. Everything what happens is right here, right in this place, right? That's where all the drama or, all the quietness and peace just kind of, come from. And so as I was sitting there, I just took a pen and, I had this notebook, and I just, started writing down. And I still was kind of, working on it. I fall asleep a little bit about, I think, 5:30 in the morning. So I was awake for some time. And then I got up, I did my yoga practice and other things. And it was 8:30. I texted to Steve. And that's one thing that is just so cool to coach with this man. You just kind of create this relationship. I know that I can text him anytime, not to bug him, but I know that he's going to respond if he feels like it's something that, it's good to respond to. And so I sent him a message about what was taking place, at night, and here is Steve, it's 8:30 in the morning, and in Arizona, it's August, it's really hot. So I now understand that people, when they want to work out, which Steve does every single morning, that they have to do it really early in the morning. So here is Steve, his big headphones on, his sunglasses, and we have another over an hour conversation. So this man was coaching me, and then he gave me another extra bonus for free of another hour of coaching on what just kind of, I told him, what took place, during the night. And that it was just so epic. And, I felt like, I couldn't believe it, that, here I am, I brought something, and this man, he just kind of created something just so beautiful. We had such a uplifting and such a deep conversation on just what I was sharing about this divine agreement with my mind. So if you are okay, with that, would you like to hear, from me what just kind of, I have created with this divine agreement with my mind? Because all of us have agreement with our mind, even though we don't know it, right? We either let the mind do what it wants to, okay? Or we can be in deliberate partnership, with our mind, because I have realized how the mind is truly, truly important to the expansion of my soul, of my spirit, of my life. Mind is really just kind of, important. So here is what came to me at 2:30, and it was on August 27 at 2:30 in the morning, Arizona time. Divine agreement with my mind, and I put it basically in 15 points. Dear mind of mind, number one, my beautiful mind, I cherish you, admire you, respect you, and encourage you for the absolutely remarkable life I have created because of your magnificent work and service. Number two, today I want you to know that we will elevate our creations with a special heavenly gift for both you and me. Number three, this gift will make you feel lighter and more spacious, and I will be empowered to serve the world boldly and love fearlessly. Number four, dear mind, my only desire today and always is to have authentic, real, honorable, virtuous, admirable, beautiful, respectful, pure, holy, merciful, and kind thoughts. Here is the contract, number five. Any thought you offer to me that is less than unconditional love toward myself, others, and God will pass through a special healing portal. Number six, anytime the poison of judgment manifests in thoughts toward myself, others, or God, and I am tempted to react, I will instead cultivate the ability to love. Number seven, this ability to love born from the healing portal is called forgiveness. Number eight, if there is an unhealthy thought, who is the creator of the thought, my mind? Who is responsible for it? I am. Number nine, I will say with a prayer in my heart, quote, I forgive myself for judging myself whether I am or I am not, or for any unhelpful thoughts my mind may offer. Number 10, I will repeat it again and again and again and again with all my heart and all my mind. Number 11, for I know deep in my soul that I am a divine and eternal child of God, and the truth of who I truly am will be released every single time I ask for forgiveness. Number 12, lastly, I erase from my life the thought I do not know forever. Because the truth is, there is always a knowing in the depth of my soul. I always know deep in my heart. Number 13. Dear mind, this is a new, exciting, joyful, and playful plane we will live in together, creating beauty, goodness, love, joy, and light in this world. Number 14. I am your ultimate captain who loves you, appreciates you, and will take care of you so that your work is always brilliant. And number 15, dear mind, I declare to you that I am a mind surgeon and soul orthodontist to all those God sends my way, to serve them, to love them, to uplift them, and to elevate the consciousness and the light of Christ on this planet Earth. And it's signed with love, your ultimate captain, surgeon, and orthodontist, Olga. We got this! Exclamation. And I would be happy to share it with you if any of you are interested. I would be just kind of, happy to share that with you. Now, my dear friends, uh, I touched only like so much of this, okay? And I'm so honored that actually Steve is present with us. Steve Hardison. Steve, if it's possible, Judy, is it possible to give Steve just kind of, some words, of love that he might have, or to
Absolutely.
share with, especially Steve, with my community that they do not know you. There are a lot of people who don't know who you are, so if you feel like you want to, share something, I would be so honored. Thank you.
I'd be glad to. First of all, thanks for inviting me to be here. I'm moved by listening to you speak, Olga. It was amazing being with you. I appreciate your preparation and the light around my office. I feel like the luckiest man in the world that I get to be in intimate, deep conversations with humanity. I couldn't sell shoes or make peanut butter after having been with people in states of being and loving. It's the greatest thing that I could do. I love it. I love what I do, and I love being with you, and I love being with people. And I'm grateful for those that are your friends that are here. Thanks for being here. And those of you that I know by looking at you, I love each of you. I'm grateful for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, and also so grateful for Amy. She's not here, but that is just what is so beautiful, about Steve and his wife. I think what is just the most incredible creation that I know that we can create is just kind of the relationship with the people who are closest to us. And I'm just so grateful for the faith in God that I have, for the people I have met in my life, for the people whom I have served over those years, and there are many of you who have shared, my space with me, and we created a lot of wonderful possibilities with your bodies, with your minds, and with your souls. I just want to thank you. I just want to thank you for trusting me, for many of you putting your health in my hands, what a sacred honor that has been for me. And going back, what I'm saying is that, I don't put up, Steve Hardison on any pedestal. He's just as normal as each of us, is. And I didn't go to that office just, to have some guru or look up to somebody. But I knew, and I know in my life how to choose just kind of, to be taught and to be in a space of people who are tremendously benefit to the human race and to who we are on this planet. And I'm just so grateful what I have come to my life that, I can be in spaces with, with people who uplift me, with people who not only give me hope, but who sees in me what I always have seen and maybe sometimes not articulated so well. And so I'm grateful, for Steve and beautiful marriage, Steve, you have. It's just so beautiful what you do. And I know that that's your greatest creation, in your life. And you pass that through every single client. Yes, people build enormous businesses. This man, he is capable to help people to build multi-million businesses, and many other things that could be created in the world. Yet what is really remarkable to see when I have watched this man is when he works with people, how their relationships to themselves and to their family members change. And that's a miracle. That's a miracle that's created, in that office. He creates every single woman to be a better human being, better wife, better mother, better to themselves, better child of God. She is, and that's about every single man. And also, I would like to close with one thing, and that is that we, each of us, have be with sessions with people around us. And we are responsible. In any be with session we are, meaning with anyone, the first person you will meet after this Zoom meeting, the first phone call that you have, the first person you talked in the grocery store when you go today, the first person you will meet when you open up the door in your church or in your yoga class or wherever you go. You can be with someone, meaning being just kind of, of unconditional love and unconditional just kind of way to serve them, regardless how they look, who they are, or who they look, just kind of, like they are, who they think they are. And I think this is just kind of one of the greatest gifts that I have been given from you, Steve. And that is to realizing that, the be with can be created in every single moment of our life. And if it comes from the way of our being. So I thank you for that. I love you so much, and I love everyone here. Thank you so much for your time. And I hope that there was a golden nugget that you've got. And I get it back to Judy.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow, Olga. Honestly, that divine agreement with your mind. If we all just took that, literally, we would change the world. If we could think that way about ourselves. Thank you for displaying that so beautifully and so articulately, and allowing us to be with you today and really feel like we were there, that we got to experience it through your eyes, through your lens. Such a beautiful honor. And so I would just love to go around and ask, what is your golden nugget, right? Because that's what we started with. Our mantra today is to be a giver. What are you going to share today from this hour, the sacred hour that we got to spend together? We do try to keep this at an hour. If it does go over, you're welcome to stay as long as you want. And I understand if you have to leave, But let's just kind of go around and see what is your one golden nugget that you're going to take away that you're going to share today. And I'm just going to call on you. We'll start with Eric.
I guess I'll lower my hand because I got voluntold. Shoot, picking one thing in Olga's talk is, man, that's a challenge, but I will, because one thing has stood out in the last hour to me, and it's commitment. The commitment that Olga made, not just to be with Steve, but the commitment that she described from historical ancestry to the unfolding of her realizing her dreams and all the previous unrealized dreams of her ancestry, and her being that is a direct reflection of her commitment to travel, her commitment to be in Arizona in August, her commitment to do whatever it took to sit in that office with Steve in that moment, and then the subsequent moments. The commitment that she described with Steve, now I happen to have a little bit more information that she shared, but the 8 miles that he does every day is an amazing example of his commitment to being healthy. And being healthy serves not just him, but everyone around him. And that commitment and the example of discipline and consistency. The commitment of everyone on this call to be here and be present and listening for the gold is also equally as inspiring. And as I look at everyone's beautiful faces on here and reading the beautiful names of people that I can't see, knowing that you were committed to being here, that is what's standing out for me, is just the commitment. And I applaud everyone. You guys are awesome. Olga, your commitment is worthy of following. Your example of your commitment is worthy of imitation. Who you're showing up in as somebody that is committed is an example of pure leadership. And that's the kind of commitment that I want to continue to pursue in my life. So.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to share? I won't voluntold people. Just unmute. Yeah, go ahead, Terry. Got it? No? Okay, while you're figuring that out, Terry, I'll go to Nancy. Olga, do you have people muted? Maybe you have to ask to unmute.
I'm unmuted now. Sorry about that.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Can you hear me now? Yes. Hi, everyone. Hello, beautiful souls. This has been an amazing experience. My friend Vicky and I joined together to watch today, and Olga, you inspire me. Oh my gosh. And the nugget that I'd like to talk about is the fact that you were awakened at 2:30 in the morning because you were awe-inspired. You were awe-inspired. And I know that feeling. And what comes to me when you asked if I had ever had that, if we had ever had that feeling, the first thing that I feel that I experienced as pure awe was being in the Swiss Alps in 1988 and being unable to speak and only cry because I was in such awe. And I tried to write and I couldn't even write. I cried on the paper. And then the second time was when my daughter was born. And what came to me in that awe-inspiring moment was the words to every love song that I ever heard. I thought they were written about her. They were written about this moment. Every love song that was ever written was about this. And that was when my life became unconditional love. And I know what you mean when you say that you woke up and you thought, my life is beautiful, my life is magnificent, I am a giant. That just sounds to me like something that comes from pure awe inspiration. And I am going to be awe inspired a lot more. Every day I'm going to be awe inspired. And I am going to also be better every day than I was yesterday. And I love you, my dear friend. I love you all. Thank you so much for this, for sharing this experience.
Thank you, Nancy. Okay, I think Terry got figured out her mute button here, so we'll get Terry to go first. No? Did that work?
Yes.
There you go. There you go. Okay.
Hello. So much in what you were saying, Olga. I had the privilege of having a conversation with you earlier today, and we've met on the AJC coaching course. And you are a shining light, oh my word. I had the privilege of reading your book, and so pleased we've met. I love your 15 points that you wrote to your mind, and I'd love to read those again. And I too am sort of rereading Steve's book and your book, and now the mastery book that you suggested, and the third chapter on forgiveness. And it's screaming in my head as you're talking. And I had a conversation with my daughter yesterday, who we had a situation when she was young, when we had to flee from a situation, and she was recanting the story like I might. And she's 43, and I found myself saying to her, there was gold in that. She's a senior leader in an academy in Norfolk, where I live in the UK, and she makes connections with the toughest of teenagers, and it is such an amazing leader. And I believe that those experiences that she's had have given her the ability to relate in the way she does now. And I could not be more proud. And what's so amazing is that I felt that I was stepping up as a leader, as her mother, rather than commiserating in a story. It was like, no more of this. We found gold over there. and we can use that gold now. And slowly for me, but I'm realizing that over this last few weeks, I'm catching myself with my own self-talk. And just being that bit kinder and knowing that actually I don't have to recant this story. I can tell a different story. And I paint, and I can do that through my brush. And I have no idea what that looks like, but I'm excited about what the future holds. And I know that you have had a massive part to play in that, and thank you. You are a strong woman, and I'd love to read those 15 points again. Amazing. Thank you so much, and thank you, Steve. Well, thank you everyone on this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Terry. Okay, Roseanne, and then Kathleen.
Thank you for inviting me to this, Judy. You are a creator of magic and love, and so is that handsome husband of yours. I just love how much love you put into the world, whether the world is ready or not. It's like hide and seek. Ready or not, here we come. And Steve Hardison, you being such love in my life ever since that first story when your son turned around to give a book from you to me at Clayton Mask's speech, and you invited me to your house. I will forever be sharing that story. And I just took a picture with the book of being, and a girl I gifted it to, who I made promise to read it and will invite to all of us. Her name is Terry Crenshaw. And what I love about what we're creating here is everyone we're inviting has a part of us in them. Mm-hmm. And that's what my circle of friends is. What I came away with, I agree with Terry. I would love to listen to your mantra, or not mantra, but your message to your mind, Olga. When you opened it up with that first one, I was like, she's for me. Because the I am is easier for some people. I feel that sometimes I am witness to who I am, and I don't even know who's coming. And I'll say something out loud, and you and I will get it at the same moment to absorb it and react to it. And it just blows me away. And letting our genius out, and acknowledging that it is indeed a genius and not something every single person has, we all have it differently, is a huge step that I've made this last couple of months. Since January, at the TUE January, I've been stepping more into me and reading the book on my third time through, inspired by Gabby Puma, who I'm going to go see in Peru. Your number 5, that any thought you offer to me that is less than unconditional love toward myself, others, and God will pass through a special healing portal. And that you'll laugh if something skips through. This just happened to me. Can I share? I don't know if that's okay. You guys do really good at sharing, and I always feel nervous that maybe I'm oversharing my time in the group anywhere I go. That's probably something to heal through. But my friend Michael Crooks, who I was stationed with in the Air Force, he was Air Force, I was Navy at McCord Air Force Base. When I became an officer, I went to DC, got my commission, and came back from being a chief petty officer to an ensign, and I got to go to the officers club, which no longer exists, I just learned. But he would give me such a hard time, and he sent me this podcast of this guy that teaches happiness at Harvard. You might enjoy this. The session he has on love is his most attended class. There is a waiting list to get into his 180 student class. There's 400 people plus on that waiting list. And that my friend would share that with me because it might provide insights on my mission in the world was such a kindness for a guy I haven't seen since he did the Ironman here years ago. It's something that my people do so regularly. But he said, oh, and I said, I love you, man. I mean, if all of us just said, I love you, man, or I love you, woman, or I love you, girl, and I think you all do more regularly, the things that come back to us are insane. And so he says, I try my best, or I try to be my kindest, or something like that. And I laughed because the Michael Crook that he used to be a pain in my side, but I called him out on it. And I said, Michael, that doesn't really fly with me. If you're going to be my friend, the daggers don't feel good. And he changed, and he would cat sit for me, and he told me he would kick my cat, but somehow I trusted him with my cat. And when I'd come back to get my cat would almost like him better. And I'm like, if you can give your cat to somebody and they love your cat more than you do, that is not a bad thing. So that's what I came away with that. And I really acknowledge what you do, Steve, when people come to your home and you fly the flag, and that you love on them from the moment they get there. And I have a client coming to see me Friday, and I wondered, what if I could love him more? What would that look like? So that's the invitation that I'm leaving today with. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you all. And Rafael, you're here, and Tanya, you're here, and Martha, you're here.
Thank you, Roseanne. All right, Kathleen.
There it goes. All right. First of all, Olga, it was beautiful. And I just admire so much your ability to articulate all you've gone through and to recall things in such a way that is so inspirational. So thank you for putting this all together. I just loved hearing it and just sitting with it. I could name a dozen things that I loved, but what popped into my mind was it was around number 12 or 13, definitely in the second half, and you said something like, I will erase the idea of I don't know forever. And I will replace that with, I know deep in my heart. And I think it's that knowingness that we all have, and that we have to admit it and allow ourselves to experience that and share it. And that just hit me very, very deeply. Lastly, I would also, I would be willing to listen to that and type it up for you if you would ever want anybody to do that. Or I don't know if you have it written, but I would love to have like a written copy of it, because I would just love to study it and really ingest it. I'm talking of the 15.
Mama did great. Mama.
So anyway, thank you very much, and hello to everybody. So great to see everyone.
Yes, I think what I will do is, I might collaborate, with Judy, or Steve, whatever you guys want me to do. I can post it in the Ultimate Coach, Facebook group, as well. So we will create something, I didn't know that it's going to be so inspiring for everyone, but it really came from the source. So for sure. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes, we will create something, Olga, with that. Martha.
So there was, like many said, there's just so much in what you shared, Olga. But what I resonate with, and what is calling me as you spoke, when you first started to speak about ancestors, is the acceptance of where I am in this world, because your experience is in your bones. It is so embedded in your bones that it just comes forward as, in and of itself, for me, such a healing experience. And so, as you said, how do I see that in me? And that the word that comes up is acceptance of my own ability to experience that loving essence that we are. Yeah. So thank you so much for this few minutes. There's just a lot to unpack. So thank you, Olga.
Thank you, Martha. All right, Tanya.
Thank you, Judy, for hosting this beautiful call today. And all I want to honor and acknowledge you, the title for this transformation of bravery. You are brave. You are that. You are such an inspiration to really stepping into your authentic being, allowing yourself to be free, to live unapologetically. And it has been such an honor to have you on Team Tuck for the past 2 seasons to grow with you. I really wish that everybody would really to request of allowing this opportunity to listen to you, to also see it as their own experience of be with session with Steve and Way, because I've had the opportunity of sharing this experience with me prior, and I feel like I have had miracles unfold these spaces since our time shared with us. It's almost the other word I have for it is in awe, truly unexplained.
Oh, I think we lost her. Okay, well, I'm sure she will come back around. There she is. Maybe not.
So
Oh, there she is. There she is. Yeah, you're kind of going in and out, sweetie, and it's really hard to hear you.
Am
so.
I? Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Excuse me, I'm near the Air Force Base, so sometimes the reception is not so good. But the true calling to lean in to what your golden nuggets were and what you received today from Olga's share, because when I allowed that to sink in and allow my own golden nugget to lead me where it's led me, it's led me into creating new stories, ones that maybe had led to chaos, or there were stories that really were stories that kept me hiding who I am. And so Olga, she's for sharing with me and sharing with us today, because
Tanya, we really can't hear you, sweetie. Maybe just connect with Olga later when you guys can connect and share with her, okay? So we are at about time. Thank you again so much for being with us. This has been a powerful time together. This was actually inspired by Olga. We had a session like this with Melanie couple weeks ago, and it was so powerful. And Olga watched it and messaged me. She said, Judy, you need to do that again. That was amazing. And so Rafael and I are actually going to be co-hosting this. And so we have a few guests coming up. Stay tuned. We will be sending out an email and letting you guys know who those guests will be and what the dates of those will be coming up. And just thank you again for being here and sharing this sacred space with us. I love you all.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank you.
wonderful day.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much
Judy.
for coming.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Olga.
Bye-bye.
Bye, darling. Bye-bye.